Donald Trump is known as a very polarizing media persona and then president who took part in numerous beefs during his presidency. But the feud people knew least about was one that happened way before that, and it's with Mac Miller over the Donald Trump track. Mac Miller's career really hit a peak at the time when in 2011 he released the song Donald Trump, which was a part of his new mixtape Best Day Ever, and it made its way onto the Billboard Hot 100 chart too. The reason why Mac Miller said he came up with the idea to Donald Trump is that he wanted to make a comparison to the fancy lifestyle of a famous entrepreneur, someone whose name would ring bells to everyone, that he has lots of money and is wildly successful. In the song, Mac Miller tells us all about his background, his plans for the future, and throws some shots about those who he went to high school with. He continues by explaining his ambitions to become crazy rich just like Donald Trump. As soon as the track was released, it got a crazy wave of popularity, which at one point reached 20 million views. That was the first time when Donald Trump had to say something about it.
A lot of people are calling me about the Mac Miller rap song. Now, it's named Donald Trump. Maybe you should pay me a lot of money, but it just hit over 20 million people tuning in to Mac Miller. So in one way, I'm proud of him. I haven't actually seen the language. It's a little bit hard to understand on the song itself. Probably it's not the cleanest language we've ever heard. But this kid is the new Eminem. Everybody says he's fantastic, and let's see what it is. But the Donald Trump song just hit over 20 million. That's not so bad. I'm very proud of that.
After Donald Trump named Mac Miller the new Eminem, it agitated some of the fans and they started to make waves about it, to which Mac responded in a very calm fashion, despite it being evident that he was somewhat annoyed by the comparison. It was ridiculous how people got so worked up over him being like, "You're the new Eminem." He's not going to be like, "I was listening to this Mac Miller kid and he seems influenced by a Tribe Called Quest. He seems like he listens to a lot of Big L growing up and that he's really going there in hip hop." All he meant was, "I'm a white rapper and I'm blowing up." Not only fans but critics as well were shocked by the comparison between Mac Miller and Eminem, and said that there were no similarities between the two's rapping styles. Also, they didn't quite grasp how Donald Trump could say something like that. Donald Trump, if we're being fair, likely hadn't heard much of Mac Miller's music, if any, outside of that one song. And Mac commented that, "Obviously, we're different, dude. So don't worry about what Donald Trump calls me. I was just excited that I reached a level that someone like that, I'm on their radar." Just a year later in 2012, the song was even more popular, reaching over 54 million views, and Donald Trump addressed it again.
A young rapper named Mac Miller just did a song called Donald Trump, and I've just been told it hit over 54 million. 54 million people. I want some money, Mac. Give me some money. I'm entitled to 25% at least. Mac, I want money.
With some notes of aggression, Trump demanded that he was owed royalties from the song, as he used his name. That was one of the last straws for Mac Miller, and so that's how this beef kinda started. Right at the beginning of 2013, while doing an interview, Mac Miller insulted Donald Trump and said that he had had enough of Trump demanding some money for being only the name in the song. He added that if it could be any other name of a famous and successful person, so there's really no point in such behavior. It's not like the whole song is centered around Trump, although it is named after him. Mac Miller was really angry about Trump's request of a 25% cut from the money that Mac had earned from the song. Later in 2013, when Mac Miller acknowledged that Trump had certain plans to run for president of the United States, he said he regretted naming his song after Trump, and even expressed that it wouldn't be seen as great in the public eye to have a song with his name, and he expressed some doubts that some might even think that he was pro-Trump. After Trump was aware of that interview, he became infuriated by it and turned to Twitter by posting a series of tweets in which he was dissing Mac Miller. "Little Mac Miller, I'm now going to teach you a big boy lesson about lawsuits and finance. You ungrateful dog. Little Mac Miller's next album may bomb. He can't use my name again for sales." At the end of the same year, Trump posted another tweet in which he expressed his negative feelings over the song being platinum. It was just announced that Mac Miller's song Donald Trump went platinum. Tell Mac Miller to kiss my ass. But Mac Miller didn't do anything to ignite the beef that time. He even sent the platinum plaque to Trump's office, to which Trump reacted as a crummy gift. but nevertheless put it on the wall of his office. The Twitter war extended for 2 years more, and approximately by March 2015, Trump had expressed disdain about different aspects of Mac Miller well over 50 times. But Trump's attitude towards the song, and apparently Mac Miller, changed later in the same year when the number of views of the video had reached over 100 million. He even played the song after the interview for The Hill, and as the quote from the article stated, the billionaire business mogul and reality TV personality had an aide in his Trump Tower office lobby load the song onto a computer. "Do you have that Mac Miller thing?" he called to his staffer, exiting his corner office on the 26th floor. "I want to see how many hits." The YouTube video for the song has more than 99 million views. "Almost 100 million hits," he said, nodding his head. Later, Trump added, "By the way, great song." While we get a clear understanding of how Trump felt about the beef, Mac Miller felt it was a great experience and it made him more famous. I have the right to an opinion on somebody's character based on what I see and hear from him, but accept the responsibility of a clean slate upon meeting the said person. He's entertaining, but not somebody I want to be the face of what the United States of America represents. At the end of 2015, feeling that it was solid grounds for him, under Trump being possibly elected as the next president of the United States, Mac Miller posted a tweet, "Just please don't elect this man. Also, white people, reverse racism isn't real. Racism describes a system built to keep a race or ethnicity swaying from success and evolution. Dear white people who listen to rap music, what have you done for #Black Lives Matter movement? Just don't forget about the ridiculously large amount of humans who are down to have Donald Trump be president. There is work to do." Someone from his fans tweeted in response to Miller's tweet, "You must have forgot about the large number of your fans that are voting for Trump." In response to that statement, Miller created another tweet. "I'm terrified that may be a true statement, but I don't think so. I hope not. Just do you, man. Love each other." But he didn't stop there. He stated in numerous interviews that it was essential for him that nobody would think that he was a supporter of Trump's campaign. "I don't think I'll vote for him unless he apologizes for all those mean things he said about me. But I don't know. If he can sell me another million singles, bro, I appreciate it." To make himself heard, Mac Miller visited The Nightly Show on March 9, 2016, where he overwhelmed the audience with a range of thoughts that he had about the future president. Starting from the point that he vigorously hated him, he continued his rant with the intention to quote-unquote white-splain, whatever that is, some crucial things that Trump obviously did not care about in his eyes, while commenting about KKK and neo-Nazis and a bunch of other things. Miller made a reference to the question of Mr. Trump. "I don't know anything about what you're even talking about with white supremacy or white supremacists," which is interesting because he decided to give comments on it. "So I don't know. Did he endorse me or what's going on? Because I know nothing about David Duke. I know nothing about white supremacists." Pretty much just mocking him in what was supposed to be a comedic sketch. Mac Miller continued his speech with the notion that he would not go anywhere even if Trump were elected president, while many celebrities would say that they were moving to Canada or elsewhere and none of them ended up moving anywhere. Instead, Mac Miller said he would spend his days presenting Americans with enough evidence that they made a poor choice in his eyes by choosing Donald Trump as their president. Also, the entire population of America would achieve much more and greater things by electing someone else, not a person that he claimed was hating and discriminating against all people who weren't white. He finished the speech with a statement that he loved America and would not ever give up, and dropped the mic. His speech sketch was not the only thing that Mac Miller did to present the people with how low he thought about Trump and why, again, it would be a tremendous loss in his eyes if he was elected. Later the same year, Mac released a mashup video in which Trump is rapping about himself to the melody of Donald Trump. While this video was full of satire and numerous clips of the future president, it really didn't affect Trump in any way to people who were already fans of his. But it helped Mac to promote the re-release of his mixtape, commercial release, that had this song. Interestingly enough, Trump enjoyed the song, or at least it's safe to assume so, because during and after several meetings, the song was played more than once by Mr. Trump. It's even documented in the published transcript of the June 2016 Trump Tower meeting by British music publicist Rob Goldstone. We went and had about 10 minutes with Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump at the time was listening to very loud rap music when we walked in because he knew I was into music. Said, "Look, I've been presented with a platinum disc for a song called Donald Trump." To which that's how I remember this incident. I cautioned him that he should perhaps look at the words to the song before he enjoyed it so much. The Donald Trump track skyrocketed again when Donald Trump became the president of the United States and made its way back to the iTunes Top 30. Mac Miller was pleased that his song was so popular, but greatly displeased with the fact that Donald Trump was president. Still, he managed to continuously roast this topic and let everyone know that he didn't support his presidency and it was about a luxurious lifestyle. Mac said that they would make some changes at the beginning of the song, adding some offensive languages related to Trump if they needed to. It's a bit insane how just mentioning someone's name in a track can lead to a 5-year back and forth with a lot of hatred and appreciation in between. Both of these men showed love as well as hatred towards each other, which I think is one of the most entertaining things about this back and forth. But we all know that Donald Trump is a huge troll, and it's no wonder that Mac Miller got the response that he did. This song goes on to be one of Mac Miller's most popular songs ever, and will likely continue to be, considering how popular of a figure Donald Trump is, and the song being a great song. And Mac Miller did as good of a job as he possibly could have done to let everyone know his opinion on Donald Trump as a political figurehead, person, whatever the case may be. And fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you decide to look at it, this back and forth is over due to Mac Miller's passing.